public to make representation to council respecting matters contained in Zoning Amendment Bylaw number 1085.118, 2019. Every person present who believes that their interest in property is affected by the proposed bylaw shall be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard respecting matters contained in the proposed bylaw. None of you will be discouraged or prevented from making your views known. However, it is important that you restrict your remarks to matters contained in the proposed bylaw. When speaking, please proceed to the microphone and commence your remarks by clearly stating your name and address. If they wish, members of council may ask you questions following your presentation. However, the function of council at this public hearing is to listen to you rather than to debate the merits of the proposed bylaw. In accordance with council procedure bylaw, presentations by members of the public shall be limited to a maximum of 5 minutes each. If a person has additional information that he is unable to provide within that time frame, he shall be given further opportunity to address council after all other interested members of the public have been heard a first time. Please refrain from applause or other expressions of emotion during this public hearing so that we may ensure as impartial a hearing as possible. After this public hearing is adjourned, council members will not speak to the public on this matter until after the matter has been dealt with at a public meeting. After this public hearing has concluded, council may, without further notice, give whatever effect council believes proper to the representations made at this hearing. And I will confirm the advertising and posting requirements. Notice of this public hearing was given in accordance with the Local Government Act and the Community Charter by distributing the notice as follows. Publishing in 2 consecutive editions of the Osoyoos Times on March the 21st and March the 28th, 2019, placing the notice on the bulletin boards in the town office and the Planning and Development Services Department on March 21st, and posting the notice on the town's website on March 21st and distributing via e-news on March the 22nd. So the purpose of this meeting is to seek public input on zoning bylaw amendment number 1085.118, 2019, which received first and second readings on March the 18th, 2018. The zoning amendment bylaw proposes to add retail cannabis sales as a site-specific permitted use for the subject property, legally described as Lot 1, District Lot 2450S, SDYD, Plan KAP 70782, Units 1 and 2, 9143 Main Street. So we will go ahead with this, and I will ask for Ms. McKay to give us a report from the Planning and Development Services Department.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. So again, the purpose of this report is to provide information to the public and council in regards to the zoning amendment bylaw. Provincial Licensing, the Liquor and Cannabis Regulation Branch of the Province of British Columbia, will not issue a private retail license without local government approval. The provincial licensing process, coupled with site-specific zoning provision, will allow for a one-step process for consideration of cannabis sales in our community. Specifically, comments received through this rezoning process will be provided to the province for consideration during the provincial licensing process. So the LCRB has produced the Cannabis Retail Store License Terms and Conditions Handbook, and it's not attached to this report, but is available online, and it is referenced in my report. Site view, the context and proposal. The applicant is proposing to open a retail cannabis store at the Gateway Square Shopping Centre. The retail cannabis outlet is proposing to occupy the 2 vacant units adjacent to the dollar store with more business. With respect to policy, the zoning bylaw, the text amendment is required as retail cannabis sales is not a permitted use within the town of Osoyoos. Council passed a previous addition to the zoning bylaw which allowed applicants to rezone properties in the C1, C2, and C3 zones when considering policy PLA-019. Accordingly, the applicant has submitted an application to rezone the property located at 43, which is within the C2 shopping center commercial zone. And again, attachment 2 to this report illustrates where the store is in relation to the zoning of the neighboring properties. Official community plan. As per section 5.7.1 of the OCP, commercial growth will continue to be focused on the Main Street, Highway 3 corridor, and its intersection with Highway 97. The proposed development would utilize spaces that have been vacant since the Gateway Shopping Center was developed. Additional policies in the OCP discourage outward migration of businesses to other areas, so the proposed use of this property for a retail cannabis store is considered to be in conformance with the official community plan. At their September 4th, 2018 meeting, Council passed a PLA-019, which is the Cannabis Retail Sales Site-Specific Rezoning Considerations Policy. The intent of the policy is to ensure all rezoning proposals are reviewed based on the same criteria. Customer parking is available at the shopping center as it is for other commercial businesses. No other cannabis retail stores are currently proposed for this area at this time. Staff is of the opinion that the location is suitable for the proposed use and will enable a new business to be established in the town of Osoyoos. Implications to the community, again, promoting attractive mix of complementary commercial uses, benefits the community and provides year-round service and supports continued commercial growth in our community. Organizationally, the rezoning process requires a public hearing, which is where we are today. Should the amending bylaw receive third reading, it then would be placed on hold until such time as the town is notified of the province that the applicant has been successful in obtaining the necessary approvals, at which time it will be brought forward to council for consideration of adoption of the amending bylaw. Development permit for forming character will be required if changes are being made to the exterior of the building. There are no impacts to the budget at this time. The item will be placed on a future council agenda for consideration of third reading. Town policy for commercial growth includes avoiding sprawling development, and there are no options associated with this report. Thank you, Mayor McCorduff.
Thank you very much. Is the applicant here, and would the applicant like to come up and speak, please?
Okay, so good afternoon. Thank you for all of it. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk about our application. So my name is Jeff Parkinson. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for C21 Developments based out of Penticton. So we have the application for the cannabis store at Gateway. So just wanted to go through some rationale of what we're thinking and what we plan on doing. So first of all, we think it's an ideal location for a cannabis store in the community for a number of reasons. It's an existing shopping plaza. We have an empty spot, so it's not replacing an existing business. There's ample parking, so we feel it's got good access and parking ability for not just all the existing customers, but all the future customers. And while it's accessible and it's easy to get into and get around, we feel that it doesn't have a direct sight view for tourists at the busy time of the year. And we understand that in the past that might have been a concern, that you didn't want to have a cannabis location that would be in prime view of all the tourists, which this would not. So we think that really helps. We believe that it will bring extra traffic to the site, which we think is not just good for our business, but it's good for the other businesses in the development and all the surrounding businesses and tenants around us. We wanted to make clear that in the application, we're not asking for any exemptions to the current zoning that's in effect, because it was very important to us to make sure that we honored and respected your initial ask before. Our company has extensive experience in the retail food industry right across Western Canada and through the U.S., and we're a very fast and growing company. We have a number of brands that we work with. We own a lot of our real estate, and we own our businesses as well. So we're very, very engaged in all of our communities. We intend on having regular educational seminars for all of our customers, so both those that are trying to purchase, as well as those that are trying to learn and decide whether or not they want to engage in cannabis for the future. We've partnered with a Vancouver-based cannabis company, Cannabis. They're going to assist us with store design, store operations, and to basically ensure that we're going to meet all of the expectations of both the province as well as yourselves. Cannabis is a licensed Health Canada producer. And with their expertise in the cannabis sector, we are confident that the partnership will allow us to make sure that our location will be one of a kind. We're currently working on the design of the store, including its exterior. It's important to us that we didn't want to just black out all the windows, even though that would meet the provincial regulations. We've been thinking about the idea of having local art that reflects the natural landscape of Osoyoos, the artwork that's on the windows in the form of whether it's graphics or some type of film that's put on. But we wanted to make sure that it is very attractive from the outside, both from the consumer's point of view, for the residents, and for the community. This will also help, we'll still meet the security guidelines that are expected, but we think it'll give the best look and appeal from the street. Something that's really, really important to us is while we will be advising our customers and helping them with their purchase, we cannot and we absolutely will not allow any of our customers or consumers to consume in-store or on our property. Very, very important to us. We expect to hire about 7 to 12 people locally. And it's, again, also really important to us that we want to work with our partner and introduce our retail team, our store in general, to the local police, just so that they feel comfortable and confident that we are the right licensee, the right retail operators for cannabis in the community. And I've brought our partner with us, David McDonald. And that was really all I had. So, questions?
Thank you very much.
Nope.
Councillor King.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A question, are you actually a real estate agency?
No. We are a land development company, but also we own loads of businesses. So we own probably 3 dozen restaurants. We own strip malls. We are our tenant ourselves in a lot of our places. We build and own and operate.
Are you a public company?
No, private.
And are you aware that there's a business proposed to go up next to where you're proposing?
We've had discussions internally about possibilities for other developments on the property, yes.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you very much. I would now like to open it up to anyone in the public who would like to come up and speak, and there is a 5-minute distance on that if anybody would like to. Is there anyone who would like to come and speak on this topic, on the zoning of the property?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'm Eileen McGinn. I'm at Sonora Ridge. What do you need the address? 9-4110 36th Avenue, Sonora Ridge. Representing myself, I also have worked with the Monarch Group and with Walnut Beach, and I know some of the group that are actually looking at doing this, and just spoke with Danny Kamel this afternoon. They've done a fabulous job over at Walton's, and I've listened around town because as a realtor in town, and our company did sell over 65% of the real estate in town. We get a lot of the clients here, and I think one of the biggest concerns was that we did find a place like the mall, because I think it does take it away from some of the exposure that the feedback that we were getting in the community was that something right down on Main Street with all the traffic and with all the tourists wasn't the best place for it. And we've heard as soon as it was mentioned that there was one up at Gateway Plaza, everybody in town was saying that's the place that we think it should be. That's the feedback we've been hearing in the community. I mean, we loved the location down where the first one was, where the Osoyoos signs was. But after that, the feedback was they didn't like stuff that was interfering with tourists because it was so handy for kids walking by and that. So Gateway Plaza is a great location, off the main beat, but still has the traffic and good security up there. You've got the RCMP right across the street from them. So that just wanted to give you some feedback from the community, and think it's a great mix. Cannabis, I've read a lot about them and talked to some of the partners with it. They're a fabulous company that's done their homework on the product and a lot of advancement in it. And I think when you see their stores, you'll be impressed with the look that they're going to bring into the community, which I think is really important for up in that empty thought mall. And I know they're aware of what Hart's doing up there as well. I talked with Daddy there this afternoon and Monty, so I just feedback, think it's very positive and a great location for the community and a great mix with the two companies that are bringing it to the table. So thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on this issue? I'll ask for a second time. Is there anyone else who would like to make a public presentation And for the third time, is there anyone else who would like to make a public presentation? Hearing none, I will move that the public hearing is closed. Thank you very much, everyone.